What's going on, friends? James Nguyen here for a bonus edition of Drawstream. I'm going to finish the Daredevil that I started drawing in the last video. So we're just going to get back to it, and if anybody joins me, great. I'm just going to be drawing anyway. So if you join me, you join me. If you don't, you can catch it later. But don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe. All right. So let's jump right back in it. If you missed the other one, I was drawing a Sonic the Hedgehog, and I finished it up, and then I started inking this. So if you want to see the one that I finished, that's him. That's him. And then I also gave you a little preview of this guy. Let me break this back out to the whole drawing board here. This is the cover to Alpha Red number 7. So that was a preview that I showed. But we're just going to finishing up this Daredevil and trying to keep it loose. If you watched some of my recent ones here, I am on a kick to try to improve my inking and trying to keep it a little bit looser. So let me, I am going back in here, and never mind. We're not gonna care. We're not gonna care. I'm just gonna draw and talk, and if anybody joins me, fantastic. If not, you guys have another video to watch on the rewind. All right, this is tricky here because I'm gonna hold my breath like I told myself I wasn't going to, because it makes for a stiffer picture. But sometimes you can't help yourself. Like whenever I was collecting Daredevil way back when, it was Joe Quesada and Jimmy Palmiotti doing the artwork, and that's what really inspires me visually with Daredevil. So I'm trying to kind of channel that, that old energy from Joe Quesada and Jimmy Palmiotti, but still kind of making it my own. I actually reused this pose for Alpha Red. So if you pick up Alpha Red number 6, you will see a pose that is almost identical to this. So what I did was, I have a scan of this, like a high resolution scan of the pencils of this, and I print it out, and when I want to reuse a sketch or something like that, I will print it out very light so that I don't have to rethink about the composition. And once I have that printed out, I can turn it then into whatever character that I want then. And I don't feel too bad because it is my drawing. It does look kind of weird because it's almost identical. And I did not really have any plan to use this image of Daredevil other than for the Drawstream. So it was not and I don't plan on using it anywhere. It's just a fun thing to draw, and kind of provides content for my channel. And then I can talk about Alpha Red and all that stuff. If you're not familiar with Alpha Red, I am the creator of Alpha Red. I write him, I draw him. I did pick up a new writer, and so he is gonna help me out for the foreseeable future. I think I like Ray. I like the collaborations we have. I throw some ideas at him, and then he kind of cleans a lot of it up. We'll have to fight about who gets to script it, because that is something that I like doing. So trying not to overthink the inking. I think that is my problem. And I tend to make it stiff if I overthink it. So I want to make sure that I'm just kind of keeping it loose, man. That's why I went and picked this brush pen instead of the Pigma Micron that I typically use, because that is it gives these perfect lines, like a very controlled line, and so you end up with something that is exactly what you lay down. And I think your brain doesn't enjoy that as much as some of the random line weights that come from a brush or a brush pen. Now, if you do it like super duper exact and super duper polished, I think there's certainly it's certainly visually pleasing, but not necessarily all the time. I don't think we need to see things, especially photorealistic or anything, when it comes to comic book art. There's an argument to be made that we don't even prefer to see it photorealistic. I mean, it's cool if you can do it and do it well without it looking like you're tracing a photo. But for the most part, you can I think you can get away with a lot of gestural kind of stuff when you're doing comic book art. You can get away with looser anatomy, like Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man is drawn in such a way that is so impossibly unrealistic, but at the same time it is visually appealing. So I think we can take a lot away from that. I mean, I was drawn to it. I know I was drawn to it when I was young. That's what got me into comics. So I don't know what you guys like as far as comic books go, and how close comic books need to be to real life anatomy. I mean, you want to be good at anatomy, but you don't have to be like anatomically perfect. I think if your style is consistent, I think our comic fan brain gives a lot of grace to comic book artists. And I, for one, am grateful. So yeah, I just wanted to finish this up. If you guys did not catch the Sonic the Hedgehog picture I just drew, where I spent the first 35 minutes coloring that one, and then when I got done, I jumped in to ink this, and I just picked up the actually my wife got for me the Daredevil Man Without Fear comic that Frank Miller and John Romita Jr. did back in the early 90s. She got me a trade paperback back, and then one of the fans of my channel heard that I don't have the originals anymore, and they sent them to me. And so I was able to read that miniseries again here in the last 2 days, and it was just as good as I remembered it. And so that is what inspired me to finish up this picture. If you haven't seen me pencil this picture, you can catch that on this channel. It is available, and it is actually one of my most popular videos. It was a random popular video when I first started the channel. So, and I'm happy to finish it up. I do this every Sunday, guys, usually from 8 to 9. And so if you're catching this on the rerun, I would, and you like it, hopefully you hit that like button. That's first and foremost, I guess. But this is almost done here, and I knew that this would not last much longer than what when I left it off about 20 minutes ago at my off the normal live stream. So I did not expect any of the regulars to pop in, but I was hoping somebody would. But here we are. Let me see if I do have the circles here. Gotta get the equipment, the right equipment to make it look super special. Let's see, baboomski. I think that looks about right here. Yeah, and then I'll go down here, make the smaller one back here, and make it even smaller. And then connect those two dots. Where's my regular ruler? Regular ruler. Kaboomski. And then I'll come in with a thicker. I think this could stand a second brush pen that is a little bit more unwieldy with the thicker line work, just to kind of bring out this baton that he throws is coming at you. Scary. Kaboomski. But even in this chin and stuff, definitely want like the contrast to be greater than some of this other contrast, and that will give it a little bit more of the realistic rendering that I know that I like in my final artwork, because our eyes are like trained to look for contrast, and if we don't have enough contrast, it looks boring, I want to say. So when you're doing comic art, you want to make sure to throw in some contrast to really pull the reader's eye in. And it's subtle. It's not super duper noticeable. Like, you might not even notice why you like certain drawings or you don't. But if it doesn't have a whole lot of contrast in it, and it's not done like perfect, because I know that there are drawings that I enjoy and they're pretty open. You know, they don't have the contrast, they don't have much shading, but they still are appealing to look at. But for the most part, I think that we, as comic fans in the West, are used to seeing some contrast. Maybe not so much the manga stuff, but yeah, Kabamski like that. And I think that is Dunsky. I know this video isn't very long. I don't know how long this video has been going on, but I just wanted to finish up the inks on this video. All right, guys. Any questions about artwork? About Alpha Red? Why is my channel called Alpha Red? If you're not familiar, Alpha Red is my independent comic book. I describe it as Peter Parker as Captain America on a James Bond adventure. So that's usually the hook that I throw at people. I drew it in pencil in 2024, but I inked it in 2025, so 2025 it is. So that's what gets people over to my table and opening my comic books. But I think that's it, guys. Oh, maybe I'll throw some extra lines onto his hand so that his hand is popping out too, just like the baton. Kabamski, kabamski. And so when I go into ink, like the stuff that is closer to the reader, I tend to put like this bolder line around it, which gives it the impression that it comes out at you a little bit. So I believe that's it, guys. Thank you for checking it out. And if you like what you saw, just hit that like button if you could. Hit that subscribe button. I draw every Sunday night, 8 to 9. This just happens to be me finishing up this drawing because I did stop it at 9 o'clock. I wanted it to stop on the hour. And then I was just going to stand here and finish up the inks anyway. And maybe I'll start doing that because I do that after the show. I just stand here and I ink if my wife isn't looking for me. So, she rarely does on a Sunday. She's doing her thing, getting ready for the week, and I'm getting ready for the week. So, but maybe I'll start doing this where I pop back on after my hour that I do, and then just kind of finish up whatever the drawing is that I stopped at. So, but guys, thanks for checking it out. Hope to see you next Sunday, and drop in the comments what you want me to draw. You know, I'm open to taking requests. So we'll see you next week at 8 p.m. on Eastern. And until then, grace and peace.
From the shadows he rises with courage in his heart, a beacon of hope. He's ready to start. With faith as his armor and a fire in his soul, Alpha Red stands tall, fulfilling his role. Alpha Red, the hero we need. With the power of faith, he'll always succeed. Fighting darkness, he'll never dread. For the world is safe with Alpha Red. Red. In a world full of chaos, where evil Alpha Red.